America First is on its way. We all just wish it would get here a bit faster. I mean, officially, that is. With just 2 days to go before Christmas, 'tis the season to be MAGA. We have reason to be jolly, for the Trump presidency seems to have already begun. Our winter of discontent seems to be over thanks to President Trump and his allies on Capitol Hill. For preventing a government shutdown and promoting a change in government, a new season, a new beginning is upon us, called a season of firsts. And policies that put America first, thanks to the leadership of President Donald Trump. Call it also the first of several wins on behalf of President Trump's day one agenda. Unlike Joe Biden, President Trump stands ready to answer the call. And by the way, if someone knows where Joe Biden is, give me a call. If someone knows who's taking Biden's calls or calling the shots while he is missing, please let me know. If someone knows if Democrats have privately called on Biden to leave the White House, tell Democrats not to bother. As long as Biden does not start a war, his whereabouts can remain a mystery for the most part. As long as Biden does not do anything, he can stay in hiding. And as long as our allies know that Biden is no longer president, that he is not even present, that he lacks the presence of mind to do anything, he can continue to pretend he is commander-in-chief. 28 days. 28 days from now, President Trump will return to Washington. 28 days from now, President Trump will be in the White House. In the meantime, for all intents and purposes, President Trump is already in charge. I mean, just look around. Look around. Start with President Trump's leadership in Congress. 4 days and 1,547 pages ago, Congress was in disarray. 4 days ago, Congress was as dysfunctional as Biden and as anti-democratic as the Democrat Party. And now, thanks to President Trump, Congress is in recess, and a bill was signed somewhere behind the curtain by Joe Biden. At least, well, there's a signature on it. That means it's the law, and we will be funded until mid-March. Here is Speaker Mike Johnson on the passage of America First legislation. The bill helps farmers, disaster relief. The bill was less than 120 pages compared to the almost 1,600 pages. That is a dramatic improvement. The bill also helps Republicans, proving they can govern. Had Republicans not passed the bill, they would have lost more than a floor vote. Had Republicans failed to cut the bill down by hundreds of pages, they would have lost the support of President Trump. And if Republicans had failed to avert a shutdown, they would have lost the support of the American people, a lot of them. So yes, elections have consequences. The consequences of last month's presidential election are many, and for the most part, good. Here's Mike Johnson saying this is America First legislation. Listen.
Priority for us. This is America First legislation because it allows us to be set up to deliver for the American people. In January, we will make a sea change in Washington. President Trump will return to D.C. and to the White House, and we will have Republican control of the Senate and the House. Things are going to be very different around here. This was a necessary step to bridge the gap, to put us into that moment where we can put our fingerprints on the final decisions on spending for 2025. We also, in this bill, as you know, took care of Americans who desperately needed and deserved the assistance. We had a record hurricane season. Hurricanes Helene and Milton in particular did dramatic damage across at least 6 states. The Carolinas, Virginia, from Florida, Tennessee, all the way through. And they had been waiting for the federal government to assist. We did that tonight in this bill. We also took care of our farmers, many of whom were on the brink of collapse because of Bidenomics, frankly, because the inflationary cost of their inputs and the inability they have right now to get loans from the banks and the lenders to put their crops in the ground, to put the seeds in the ground in the spring. So we had to take care of that, and we did. We are excited about this outcome tonight. We're grateful that everyone stood together to do the right thing. And having gotten this done now as the last order of business for the year, we are set up for a big and important new start in January. We can't wait to get to that point.
Cannot wait to get to that point in January. I agree. Helps the farmers, helps disaster relief. It's less than 120 pages, like 114, 117, whatever. Not 1,600. Here's President Trump at AmFest over the weekend. Charlie Kirk's big gathering down there for Turning Point USA, saying we will soon turn the page on 4 long years of failure, incompetence, and national decline. Here is change we can believe in based on leadership and a commitment to putting America first. Listen.
And in conclusion, on January 20th, the United States will turn the page forever on 4 long horrible years of failure, incompetence, national decline, and we will inaugurate a new era of peace, prosperity, and national greatness. It's going to be national greatness. It will be something very, very special. And you could use a little of that because you haven't seen any of it in 4 years. What's happened to our country is so sad.
So sad. Yeah. President Trump on the need for change, starting with the biggest week and the most extraordinary 100 days of any president in American history. President Trump is going to lead by example. Here is unmistakable proof that Trump intends to act and act quickly on his first day back in office. That's right. Listen to this.
The actions I have described today are just a small preview of the common sense revolution, because that's what I call it, a common sense revolution that's coming soon to America, to a theater near you, right? But it's coming to you through your president, Donald J. Trump. The people have given us their trust, and in return, we're going to give them the best day one, the biggest first week, and the most extraordinary first 100 days of any president in American history.
And one of those big changes will be how we deal with illegal aliens. I told you off the top about this horrible story. An illegal alien from Guatemala set a woman on fire in a subway train in New York City. Watched her burn. In fact, fanned the flames at one point. Police did nothing. The woman standing there on fire, literally engulfed in flames on fire, burning to death. She died at the scene. And they did little to do anything about it. They did nothing to stop it. And she died there. And the illegal alien from Guatemala arrested for the crime. Doesn't really matter what his name is, because the real problem is rooted in the Biden administration and its refusal to deport this guy. And tens of thousands more like him. Waiting to prey on Americans are these people, these monsters, because this is a monster. Anybody who would set a fellow human being on fire and watch the fire burn. In fact, he sat outside the car for a while on a bench until police said, "You have to move." We'll talk more about that, because that's where a lot of people voted in November, was to close the borders, to make America first again, to make America great again, to make sure American citizens are put first in line for protection and law and order and everything else.